I'm the Reverend Dr. Duane Alexander Miller coming to you from warm Madrid. And today we're going to talk about the Anglican Toolbox when it comes to sharing the good news with Muslims. Welcome back to my Substack channel. And we're making sense of it all: modernity, Islam, and Christianity. So, a fascinating shift has occurred over the last few decades. For centuries, Christian mission to the Muslim world felt like trying to crack an impossible nut. Conversions were incredibly rare, but beginning in the 1960s, that trickle turned into a steady, reliable brook. For generations, the burning question for missiologists was, how do we get Muslims to genuinely consider the claims of Jesus? Today, we face a completely different, beautifully challenging question. We have these believers from a Muslim background. Now what? How do we pastor them? How do we build churches that help them flourish? I was working with retired Bishop Bill Musk, who had been the area bishop for North Africa, and we put together our best thoughts. So even though I'm the only one doing this, these thoughts go back to my reflection, but also with Bishop Bill. So, first of all, in Anglicanism, you have authority, safety, and the cure of souls. The first tool is governance. Western Christians often look at church hierarchy as a bureaucratic burden. But for believers coming out of Muslim societies, which are deeply hierarchical and patriarchal, a visible, structured church is highly reassuring. In Anglican ecclesiology, leaders hold a license from above. A lay assistant answers to a priest answers to a bishop. This vertical accountability provides an immense sense of safety for Muslim background Christians. They know exactly where everyone stands. Furthermore, having a visible head, like a bishop, signals continuity and ancient tradition to suspicious local governments and secret police. It proves this is not a radical, untraceable cult. It is a global family of 80 million people or so. But governance isn't just about rules, it's also about what we call the cure of souls. In mission fields, we excel at recruiting pioneers, the frontline evangelists. In missiology, we call these sodalities, fast-moving, adaptive missile teams. But we often forget to send the modalities, the established churches, the pastors, and the teachers. Think of it as a difference between an army and a hospital. Pioneer work is the army taking ground, but many new believers come to Christ carrying deep trauma, ranging from severe childhood abuse to intense family persecution. They don't need an army. They need a hospital for the soul. The Anglican way excels at balancing both of those, the zeal of the pioneer with the long-term structural stability of pastoral care. The second point, the lectionary and financial integrity. The second tool in our toolbox is our teaching heritage. In many independent churches, a pastor preaches on whatever they feel like, often repeating a favorite, maybe 5% of the entire Bible. The Anglican remedy is the lectionary, a fixed calendar of readings that forces us to preach the whole counsel of God, including some incredibly difficult passages. For MBBs, this is vital. It moves them away from the Islamic style of rote memorization and teaches them how to study, interpret, and contextually apply the text to their lives. Alongside deep teaching comes stewardship. When Muslims leave their biological families for Christ, they expect the church to become their new family, which includes shared resources. Anglicanism pairs the radical family generosity with strict, transparent financial accountability. In our better moments, keeping rigorous receipts and digital spending logs isn't just administrative homework. It is a countercultural witness of integrity in societies where financial corruption is often the norm. It shows that our honesty flows directly from our discipleship. Point 3 in our toolbox, or tool number 3 if you prefer, sacraments and historical humility. What is sacramental worship? If you travel to the Middle East during the Hajj, you will see pilgrims returning from Mecca. Their families will eagerly touch their clothes and cheeks to receive barakah, the spiritual blessing of a powerful past event breaking into the presence. Muslims understand the numinous. They understand sacramentality, which is to say, a sacrament is an outward sign of an inward grace. When an MBB steps into the Holy Communion or a deep liturgical baptism, they are not just participating in a cold intellectual memorial. They are stepping into a sacred ritual where the past, present, and future are knit together. In places like Tunis, baptizing believers in ancient mosaic lined baptistries connects them to a Christian heritage that existed in their homelands centuries before Islam was even invented in the 7th century. It tells them you are not adopting a foreign Western religion, you are returning home. As we invite them into this history, we do so with historical humility. Anglicans don't claim to be the one true, pure church, as Catholics and the Orthodox do. We openly admit our historical flaws, from the messy marital politics of Henry VIII to the shadows of the British Empire. This vulnerability is incredibly disarming on the mission field. It sets an example of honesty, showing that God is an expert at bringing beautiful things out of broken institutions. In conclusion, to our brothers and sisters working on the front lines among Muslims, and that includes Europe, where I am, look at these tools. Consider how structure, the lectionary, pastoral hospitals, and sacramental depth can anchor your ministries. And to my fellow Anglicans, be encouraged. Amidst the noise of global church politics, remember that our heritage possesses a profound, quiet strength, uniquely designed to nurture Christ's converts from Islam. Deo Gloria, thank you for listening. Again, I'm the Reverend Dwayne Alexander Miller coming to you from Madrid, and we're making sense of it all: Islam, modernity, and Christianity.